This show brought to you by Circle of Seven Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
Hello, everybody. This is Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio, and I am so excited to be talking with all of you today. I hope everyone is safe and doing well. I know that there's just a lot of chaos going on for all of us, and so I hope that the show brings you a bit of escapism and certainly a fabulous new author to look up if she is new to you. Our author today is Erica Hale, and she's always loved writing. So with a lot of encouragement from her mom, she wrote her very first book, and she never looked back. To date, she's penned half a dozen books, including those from her thriller Tomahawk series. She loves hearing from her readers as she continues to create her fabulous stories. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram, and her latest release, Bow and Arrow, is available now on Amazon. So welcome to the show, Erica. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. So I know that I had watched an interview with you that was back in February, and you had talked about writing that first book, and your mom had inspired you to write it. Was that the first book that you actually got published? Because some people write that first book, and they're like, okay, I know I can finish a book, and now we're just going to put that under the bed and no one's ever going to see it. But did you get that book published, or did you write a different book?
Yes. I wrote that initially for my mom. My mom is more of, crime, espionage, that type of genre of books. And so she was just like, I can't remember the book that she was, I think it was Brad Thor, and if you know anything about Brad Thor, he does a lot of
this show.
stuff. Oh, no problem.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
No. So she, got me going there. But she likes those type of books, and I was just joking around. I was like, man, I could write better than him. And she was like, I dare you to. And I was like, oh gosh, okay, all right. And so I wrote the Tomahawk series. And she loved it, and she was like, so why don't you publish it? And I was like, nah. She was like, well, I dare you to. And I was like, okay, here we go. So then after that, it was just like something that I just do now. She gave me the courage and the support to do so. So I was like, if Mommy likes it, everybody should like it. So.
Right. So did you sit down and pen all the Tomahawk series? Like, did you plan out the series, or did you just start with book one and then fed off of that? How did you do that?
With the first Tomahawk, like I said, I wrote it for my mom, sent it out, and people actually liked it. And that's what kind of like freaked me out a little bit. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm getting great reviews. It was like, oh my gosh, it was like really surreal. And everyone was like, so too. And so I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
So I basically, I wrote 2 and 3 within a month. So I was just like, I was working a different shift, and I was just like, hey, and I just sat and I just wrote and wrote and wrote. So that's how it kind of started, and I never kind of looked back.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that bizarre? I mean, you create these characters, and we all know they're fiction, right? But people are saying, so what about so-and-so? I mean, what happens next? And it's like they're talking about real people.
And in my mind, they are real people. I mean, they come across, and you talk to different authors and things, and they're just like, they talk to you. Your characters speak, and they're not you. They're people. You get pieces of people that obviously. And what would they say? What would they do in this situation? And you think of those things. You're at the grocery store, and like, what would this person do in the grocery store? What would they do in this setting? So that's how you kind of create. Yeah.
Do you think that? I mean, everybody always has a bad review, right? And so, I mean, you can look up any story, and it is. Was that first bad review hard?
I cried. I think I cried myself to sleep that night on that first bad one.
Yeah.
And it was just like someone kicking your kid. You know what I mean? That's your child. That's what you created. And so it's just like it felt like someone just slapped your baby in your face, and you can't do anything about it. And that's how I took it. And after a while, you get bad reviews. Some of them, you take that critique and you use it as fuel and you keep going and you get better. That's what you're supposed to do. And then you get the reviews like, give you a 1 star. Oh, I just didn't like the character. You're just like, dude, no. Like, no, not a 1 star, not because of that. But, everyone has opinions, and that's fine. I was telling another author friend of mine who was going through she was new, and she was like, what do you do when you get a bad review? And what I do, I go to the big names, James Patterson, Stephen King, Sandra Brown, and I look at their bad reviews. And I know that one day I may be as big as they are, but they get bad reviews too. No one's above it.
Oh, for sure.
And that, and
I
don't like to say, any book. You're going to have people that just don't like it. There's movies that people love that I didn't like. It's just what it is. And I hate to say that I take glee in other people's pain, but it's like when I read those, like James Patterson, I'm just like, okay, he got a bad review too, so I could live. I could I could look myself in the mirror.
Right. It's funny because that first time I had gotten my first book published and I was so excited, and then that first bad review came in. I was like I was just devastated. I'm like, but you don't understand what I'm doing. And so, and then after a while you write a few and you're like, I'm not even looking. I don't even want to know. But my mom will look, and she's like, "Can you believe it?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you, Mom."
It's just the nature of the beast. It's with anything. I've seen great movies that I love that get bashed by critics. I mean, like torn apart by critics and actors. I love Keanu Reeves. Critics hate Keanu Reeves, but I love him. So, I mean, it's just,
he's fabulous.
things like that are just, it just happens. And it's, like I said, it's the nature of the beast. Yeah.
It is. And so I think that's brilliant advice about, anybody who's worried about reviews. And I think that's a big fear that a lot of people don't. Yeah. Even though I dare you to write, they won't do it because of that fear of being criticized. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like anything else because I think, like, especially with Tomahawk, my first one, it was, you feel so naked. You know what I mean? It's just like, you put it out and you just kind of like sit back and wait and cringe, like, oh my God, or, are people going to like it? Or people like my friends are going to think I'm weird. You think it like, you think all these horrible thoughts until, someone that you never met, never saw, probably will never meet says, you know what, man, I love that book. That's who you do it for. Man, I was going through a rough time and I was stuck at work and I read it and I just felt so much better. It was just like, I'm so glad that the heroes won in the end, and you're just like, you know what I mean? It's that, I mean, you get that kind of glee off of it. So it's just like anything else. It's just, you got to take the good with the bad.
Right, and it's interesting because I don't think a lot of times as we're writing it, these characters, and I'm sure, like you were saying, they really speak to you. They tell you what they want to do and where they want to go, and we're writing it. We're just kind of in that storyteller mindset. But we've all read books, and I'm sure you have too, where things were just terrible in your life, or something awful happened, or something just kind of sideswiped you, and you read something that kept you sane. You're forever grateful to that person who decided to sit down and write a story. And I think that we have to keep that in mind too. Now, I mean, obviously we're all human. But it is cool when someone goes, your book really helped me. And like you said, you've had the same, where people are coming up to you going, please tell me more. I love that. I love it when readers fall in love with your characters. It's fun. So definitely. Why would you pick crime thriller versus paranormal, or what is that? What about that drew you to telling the story?
For me, crime, mystery, suspense, that's all. I mean, as a kid, I've always loved that. I'm from Washington State, and so in the summer, I don't know about you, but in the summer, we would have to go with my great-grandmother, who did not have cable. Yeah. So it was Murder, She Wrote, In the Heat of the Night, Matlock.
Oh yeah.
Perry Mason, Columbo. That was it. And
right.
I'm not trying to age myself, but what was Moonlighting, with Bruce Willis. How old is that?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what, for a whole summer, that's all I watched with my great-grandmother. We would sit in the bed, and we would watch murder mysteries all day long.
Okay.
I hate it because you want to watch MTV and stuff like that. You want to do other things and stuff. But it was just like, I loved it because you're trying to figure, her and I would sit and be like, who did it? Who killed this person?
Right, and how?
And how did they get away with it? And how did our protagonist figure it out? And those were the types of things that intrigued me. And then as I got older, my brother and I would watch, everything Steven Seagal. I know it's so cheesy.
Okay.
Everything Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
I mean, just those kind of movies, those action. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So, we had Steven Seagal, Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone. We had all those action, those alpha males, those guys that came in and they got it done. So that's what I just grew up on. And so it just kind of manifested itself into what I wrote. So basically that's what it really was. It's just growing up with murder mysteries and trying to figure it out and how did this person get away with it, and when they thought they got away with it but they didn't. So, and having that strong male character and my strong female lead and them working together to try to get this thing taken care of.
Right. Yeah. My mom loved Agatha Christie, and she read all those books. Right. And so, and of course, Nancy Drew. I read all the Nancy Drew books, of course.
Oh gosh, yes.
But it was interesting because I never could figure, like I'd see the movies for Agatha Christie, and I might figure out who, but I would never figure out how or why. Like, it was like all these, I could figure out one of them, but I could never. Right. And I thought that kind of storytelling was so fascinating. Because you're weaving something together that's supposed to, by the end of it, it's all supposed to look like this. And it's very cool. So, it sounds like you got pretty good schooling with all those shows.
Oh yeah. Those summers of Angela Lansbury helped me out.
Yeah. It's kind of funny to see her as Angela Lansbury, like Jessica, what is her name, Fletcher, because she was in she was in Gaslighting, in the 1940s.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she was a wicked character in that. So it's funny to see her and this lovely woman solving mysteries now.
Exactly.
She was killing people before.
I know, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you are. So you've got, so your very first book was of the Tomahawk series, correct? So the very first one was, tell me the title.
The very first Tomahawk?
Yes.
I'm sorry? It was that simply titled Tomahawk. Yeah. That's the first one. Okay,
so you have the very first Tomahawk series, of that one, and then you have Cat's Claw, which is the second. And then Jackknife. Is Jackknife the third?
Yes.
Okay. And then now you have something different. So you have Bow and Arrow that was just released recently. And so tell us about that series, because that's the first of that series.
Yes. Bow and Arrow, it's about a young woman by the name of Rainbow, nicknamed Bow.
Okay.
And she has kind of what you would call like a gift and a curse, being able to speak to the dead and being able to read minds. And just her journey of knowing what people are thinking about her. Knowing how, I believe like the first few pages, she sees her best friend being killed in the future. So now she's trying to figure out how she's going to save her friends with just limited glimpses of the future. So that's kind of how it basically starts, and she meets a awesome detective who is learning little by little of her gifts and her talents, and basically, like she calls it, her curse, and how to navigate of saving all these people around her, still kind of keeping a secret, and also trying not to fall in love with the detective also. So she has a lot on her plate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's got a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So
is this the first? This is the first.
Yes.
Right. So what is your new series called?
This series is the Bow and Arrow series. Like I said, I'm currently writing 2. I'm going to probably be finished at the end of this month, and it kind of goes into her gifts and why she has them and why this is happening to her and why she had to leave Nashville and trying to save the people that she loves and find her little brother. Her little brother was kidnapped when she was in high school, so now she's kind of going all over the United States.
Yeah, and so you've got a cliffhanger in there. And I will not read the review that says so, because people need to read to find out what the cliffhanger is. But it sounds like but you've got book 2, and do you have more plotted out, or are you going to do book 3 as well, or more?
I have planned out a 5-book series for this one.
Okay. Nice.
Just because, and it's funny because I've never done paranormal before, and people actually liked it. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Maybe I'll stick with this for a while. But of course, I can't stay too far away from my murder mystery stuff. But I really want to dive into different genres and things like that. Kind of stretch your pen out. I want to do a romance, things like that where nobody dies, because always somebody dies. A buddy of mine was like, why did somebody have to die in every one of your books? And I'm like, I don't know. Sure. But no one's going to die in the romance one. I want to try to keep everyone on this side of the grass on the next one. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could do romantic suspense, so you could have all the build-up of all the thriller stuff, but just nobody dies. They might.
Hopefully.
So,
they might. You never know. You got to read it to see if they die or not. So hopefully I'll
of course,
keep
the bad
everybody
guys
alive.
die.
The bad guys
we're okay
always
with
have to
guys.
go. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah. So 5 books, and you've got all these wonderful stories. How do you keep? I've talked to a lot of authors about their technique of keeping characters and their just everything about your characters consistent. So in book 1, this person has this color eyes, or they're this tall. They're also the same in book 6. So do you have? I mean, what is your system of your story Bibling?
Usually, because I can't outline. Some people swear by it. I cannot outline. I'm just kind of like a firm believer that stories write themselves. And these characters, like I said before, they're like people to me. I know them. Okay. So, and of course, when you have your minor characters, you want to, and I have notebooks. I'm sitting on my bed right now, and I'm looking at 3 different notebooks right now. So, you have your minor characters. He's this tall. He's, he likes this. He's this type of person. But usually, like my main characters, I know them inside and out.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have a separate notebook for each book?
Yes. They're all everywhere. Because I already have book 3. I already know what I'm doing with book 3. So book 3 is it's pretty much done in my head. I know exactly where I want to go. So I'll write something in it. You hear somebody say something, and be like, oh, that's what so and so would say, and I'll write it down, or things like that, or this is what he would wear, or names. This would be his girlfriend's name, and things like that. So I have, like I said, my bed is covered with planners and my Bible and notebooks.
Do you carry something with you to write down, so you hear somebody say something or use a certain name or you see a certain situation, and you just have, you pull from those notes? You have that with you?
Yes. I have a notebook in my purse, one in my car. I think my husband has to kick one off his side of the couch. I mean, they're everywhere. I went to Target and bought another one. I have so many notebooks. It's like a sickness, you have to pray for me about that.
Yeah.
Because it's like I have them everywhere.
Well, you're going to have to send those same prayers to me because at the end of when it's school, back to school, and everybody's been in school a couple of weeks, and Target's like trying to clear everything out because now they're trying to get all the Halloween stuff up, right? And they're selling spiral notebooks for 25 cents. I'm like, we'll just take 10 of those,
Yeah, well, I'll have a whole bunch. They're everywhere, and I'll lose it, and then I have to buy another one. And then, but a friend of mine was telling me, she was like, Erica, please, it's 2020. Just say it in your phone. Put it in your, and I'm like, oh, I could, huh? But it's something about that. I just still write it down. She was like, just say it in your phone.
I like the tactile. I like the tactile too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I just like to write it. I don't know. It's something about that. Yeah. I type out my books. I have a buddy of mine that she writes hers out hand. I don't know how she does it, and then she types it. I can't do that.
Wow.
No, that's not going to happen.
Huh.
Wow. That's too much work.
Well, I have somebody who's called in. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hello, Miss Unique. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Fine. So Erica and I are we're admitting our notebook addictions right now.
Oh yeah.
Because
I did hear some of that.
It's a lot. Sad.
So Miss Unique has brought me two fabulous. For those of you who don't know, Miss Unique has brought me two fabulous authors last week and this week, Miss Sonia and then Miss Erica this week. And so thank you so much for reaching out and having these having ladies on the show. So Erica, tell me. So you've got your bow and arrow series. You're doing that.
Yes.
You're going to go up to book 5. And then do you know where you're going to go after that? I know you've got a lot of ideas, but I mean, let me back up a little bit. With your schedule, I know you work a 9 to 5, and you write in the evenings. Do you have do you go by, okay, I'm going to write this chapter tonight, or I'm going to write this many words tonight? How do you do it?
I usually go by scenes.
Okay.
I want to write this scene tonight, and I end up usually doing about 2 or 3, but usually that's how I try not to worry too much about word count, because when you get into that, then you're just putting in fillers, and I've never been that person, and I'm a huge fan of Stephen King, huge.
Okay.
Just bought his new book, If It Bleeds, yesterday. Seriously, big fan. But he will talk about the sun rising. It will take him 3 pages to do that. And it almost takes you out of the story, but hey, it's Stephen King. So I try not to I try to see my writing as Quentin Tarantino, where he is deep dialogue but a lot of action. So that's how I try to see myself as it's very fast. And like James Patterson. James Patterson may have like a 4-page chapter. I kind of write like him in that sense, but I'm more Tarantino. I like to give you a lot of dialogue. I want you to know my characters and then throw action in. There's action going on. There's always something going on. So, again, I try to write scenes, and like I said, I don't try to worry too much about word count, but just scenes, getting to the next step. I like to do steps.
Right. And what flows. Because, we've all been there. It's like, okay, this scene I figure is going to take, I'm guessing it's probably going to be an entire chapter, and you end up, plotting it out, and then you write it. And, it may, but when you go back and edit it, it's like, oh, well, maybe it's only 6 pages instead of 15.
Exactly.
Because.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So have you had people say, okay, I really like your books, but where did you get these ideas? And they're looking at you like, is something wrong?
Yeah, all the time. No, it's because, like I said, it goes back to, me and my brother watching just, action films and my friends are just like, golly, Erica, why does someone have to die every single time? There's something horrible happening to somebody. And it's just, I think I want readers to be emotionally attached. with what they're going through. I want it to be an experience. You know what I mean? And of course, we all read. It's a form of entertainment, and it's I like to push a little bit, not too hard for everyone. Like my mom and my dad need to fire over me or not that bad, but I like to push a little bit just to see where I can basically work. How far can I push this thing? Or people, because there's different people for everything in this world. People make the world go round, and just different aspects of the personality. And I'm sure you as a writer also, we people watch. Everybody's not like you. You're not going to, you and I, we saw a car accident. You and I could probably come up with two different, who's at fault. That's just people. So I just like to see the different. Mean.
You're phasing in and out.
Horrible. Yeah.
Right? No, you're phasing in and out a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you are.
Yeah. I just like.
But you're right. Yeah. With the personal experiences, because it's. I think that publishing, especially after this past year or more, I know that there's been a lot of discussion and some things have kind of exploded over the past few years, especially in romance genre, and then it kind of bled over to some others, but about own voices and having those different experiences and different kinds of characters, and and I think that it just paints such a rich tapestry for all of us to, like you're saying, I'm going to look at something and go, oh, well, it would be this, and someone else is going to go, well, it could be this, and it's like, oh, yeah, it could be, it's really fun, and I think that's what's so great about having so many different kinds of writers. And I don't mean, necessarily color or religion or, who you love. I think it's just ideas, and stories and how people are saying it. So I love that. I love that, you put that in there. We all have our own take on it all. And that's huge. That's a big deal. Because you're going to have somebody come up to you and go, I am so glad you wrote this character because I see myself. As this person.
Exactly.
And I think that's always important. So what is something, you've said you wanted to write romance. Is there any particular kind of story that you've always, like a romantic story, have you ever wanted to pull into your books, whether it be strictly romance or if it'd be like romantic elements? I mean, do you have one in mind that you'd want to have in there?
I do, honestly, and I've been kind of like, it's ping-ponging in my head a little bit. I just really, because you never really, really see an African-American couple with no struggle. It's like, nobody's on drugs, nobody's a drug dealer, no one's, it's just a love story. Just something, it's pure guy meets girl falls in love with guy. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of struggle there. There's going to be misunderstanding because that's how a story is told. But I just want to. I can't remember the quote. It was, if you go to the library and there's a book that you want to find and it's not there, you write it. And so that I kind of took it. I kind of took that to task. Like, hold my beer. Let me go ahead and get this done. So, let me get this one. I got this one. Hold my beer. So. Yeah, that's what, and you never really see that representation a lot of just a simple, what my mom calls syrup, like a Hallmark. I really want to go real syrup, real love on something like this, a Hallmark movie. I like those. I actually like those movies, because it's very simple. And you feel good after you watch them. You feel great after. You're just like, I got to find somebody to love after I see this. I got to hug somebody after I see this movie. And I really want to, just kind of venture into that. I don't know how long I'll stay there, but I just want to just test it out, test the waters.
Well, sure. I mean, I think love is the core of human existence. I mean, why wouldn't anybody fall in love? And it's interesting you bring that up about not having the struggle and not making it for lack of a better word, stereotypical of what people would perceive a certain group would have or a certain couple would have. I interviewed an author years ago, and she had a book that had a teenager, but she was like 19, and she falls in love, and it was a popular series for her. And I was at a book signing with her, and she had this young woman came up who's probably about 15 or 16, and she said, I really love that series, but I don't understand why you had to have them have sex. And the author said, and she got this look on her face like, oh, yeah, here we go again. And she said, well, because every book I ever read when I was growing up, that any time a girl had sex, she got pregnant. And she's like, you know what? Sometimes they don't. And this young woman was like, but, you know. And so the author wasn't going to back off, but she was very polite about it.
Good for her.
And so,
good for her.
But it was one of those things of, you know what? Not everything ends up like this. So, you know, telling that different story is important. Yeah.
Right. That's very important. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got all these stories in your head, and you've got your full-time job, and do you sleep?
I sleep horribly, but it's not because of that. I'm one of those type of people. I could function off of like a solid 4 hours of sleep. I've always been that way.
Nice.
It's just horrible. It's horrible, I know, but it's just my mind is I'm one of those type of people. Like, you know, like the second before you go to sleep, like you're nodding off, and you're like, oh shoot, did I get my shoes out? Where are my shoes? I gotta get these shoes out so for my outfit tomorrow. And then I'm up, look in my closet, like, okay, I got the shoes. Okay, I go back to, oh gosh, did I do this, that, and the third? Oh gosh, I'm that person. So, and then like around 1 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I gotta go to bed.
That's it.
And so opposed to my husband, who could fall asleep during a conversation. If the man is tired, he's done. I envy him, because if he's tired, he'll be the first one that's just like, okay, babe, I love you, I'm going to bed. And he's out.
That's it. I'm out.
Like a light. No conversation. I love you. Good night. And that's it. And he's through. And he's refreshed, and he's brilliant and cute as a button when he wakes up. Me, I look like I got hit by a car. How did you get hit by a car in the bed? I don't know. But that's how it happens for me.
And that's it. So with all of the stories you tell and everything, you give yourself downtime, and I know you read. What are some of your who are some of your favorites? You said Stephen King, you said James Patterson.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
So who else do you love to read?
I love Sandra Brown. Sandra Brown is just like, and no knocking Sandra Brown, because I'm a fan, huge. Her books are very formula. Bad guy, but he's kind of good. You know what I mean? He's the bad boy. You get a very professional woman. They fall in love on some crazy circumstances, like the weirdest, craziest stuff that could happen, and they fall in love, and you believe it. That's what makes me just, because you believe it. You know what I mean? It's just like stuff that, like, I think, what's the last one? I think, what is the name of that book? I can see the cover. But anyhow, basically, the guy's a pilot. He crashes the plane. The lady's a doc, and she's, like, super smart, and he's, like, this rogue, and they fall in love, and you're just like, yep, I could believe that.
Yep.
Because Sandra Brown wrote it. And so I believe it. So I love Sandra Brown. Anything that she writes, I'm on top of it. Who else? I like Dean Koontz, because I like to be scared. I like Stephen King and Dean Koontz. Just for the simple fact, I think when you could, for me, I think I don't think I'll ever try horror, because horror is objective anyway. But I think when I read, Under the Dome by Stephen King, I was in an airport full of people, and I don't know if you know the plot of Under the Dome. It's a town that was basically got caught under a dome. They can't get out. And I'm reading this book in an airport full of people, and I felt claustrophobic. When you can make a reader feel that way, you're awesome. That's why he's the best.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's interesting.
I'm going to write like that.
Yeah. Have you read the book On Writing that he has? about writing?
I've read excerpts from it. Yes.
Yeah. I was reading it, and it was a lot of, as he's explaining how his upbringing was and everything, I'm going, oh, okay, I get why he writes this.
Right.
But it was funny because I was up in Maine visiting a friend of mine years ago, and
really?
It was, I didn't appreciate how absolutely unpopulated Maine is. There's like 1 million people in the state. I don't think there's much more than that.
Right.
And most live near the coast. So we're driving from Lewiston, Maine, back to basically Camden, Maine, and we hit, I think, 2 stoplights in 2 hours.
Really?
There's no street lights at all.
Oh.
And they don't paint, and they don't have reflective paint on the road. Yeah, and it was raining.
That's horrifying in itself. Oh, yeah, that's horrifying in itself.
And so my friend,
right there.
Right, and so we're driving, and my friend, she was going through cancer treatment, so she's tired, and she's like, yeah, they don't have reflective paint. She goes, I don't think you're on the right side of the road. I said, no, I don't know, because I don't want to hug the road, because she's like, yeah, you got to be careful because the moose could come out. We're going to die. There's going to be a clown that's going to come out. And there's no moon. And I'm thinking, and this is how Stephen King came up with all this weird stuff, So it's
yeah, that's it.
I'm like, and I'm alive, so I'm glad.
Yeah, he made it. He's a survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that book, his book is for anybody, even if they're not a big Stephen King fan. The writing is really a fun read because it just basically tells you to just get out of your own way and write it. Were you able to do that for yourself initially, or were you like, oh, okay, I'm not sure? What made you like step out of your own way and write it?
I don't think I really have. To be honest with you, I think I think with any person that is creative, we kind of struggle with a bit of self-doubt.
Sure.
And I think with me, personally, it was like, I'll write something, and I'm thinking it's like the best thing on the planet. The next day, I read it, and I'm just like, oh, my God, like, this is trash. Like how did I, like, what? I'm that person. So I have learned to read, like, if I stop somewhere, I'll just read, like, the last paragraph and then start from there, because then I'll start changing stuff. I'll start poking at stuff.
Right.
And Unique will tell you, she'll be like, Erica, leave it alone. Just, I like it, leave it alone, stop. Because I'm always poking at it, like, no, I think I should do it no. And it's always that kind of second guessing. But, after a while, you're just like, okay, you know what, this is it. I always get to that point. It's just like, okay, I read it. There's a simple thing. Okay, let me go back over here, and I'll try to fix it to the best that, of course you got to cover those plot holes and try to figure out stuff.
Sure.
But for the most part, it's just like, I get tired. It's just like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it, for real. Seriously, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch it anymore. I'm done with it. So, I still battle with the self-doubt and trying to get it clean and, for my editor, try to get it cleaned up. But for the most part, I still battle. I'm still fighting it.
Sure.
So
Unique?
Yeah.
So do you have, like, you give them your blessing to say, okay, it's done, don't touch it anymore? Do you have something that you tell them?
Well, with Erica is, please don't write anything else. Please don't touch it. Please don't reread it.
Yeah.
Because like she just
said.
Oh,
reread it. That's good.
Yeah, don't reread it. Just, we're done with it. Leave it alone. Because otherwise, we're never going to get the story. We'll never get that story because she is going, but that doesn't sound right. Yes, it does, Erica. But that doesn't sound right. Oh, this is, I'm like, Erica, it's good. It's good. Please leave it alone. So you have to tell her, don't reread it. When she type in, don't reread it.
Right.
Just leave it alone. Send it to the editor. Let them do their part. And let's get this on Amazon, please.
She did not tell one lie at all. There was no lies told. For real. That's how I am. That's true.
All true, huh?
Very true.
I love it. Oh, you guys are so much fun.
Awesome
Thank you.
writer. She's an awesome writer,
Yeah.
Patricia. She's an awesome writer. She just stands in her own way.
Yeah.
Well,
She
yeah.
stands in
I
her
think a
own
lot of us will do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think don't you have projects that you're like, this is it. I'm good. I'm walking away. I'm good. And other ones you're like, maybe. You know, the balance shifts, right? Mhm.
Oh yeah. There's stuff that I'll have that I wrote a couple chapters to, and I haven't read it in like a year, and then I'll read it and I'm like, oh, I'm pretty good. Look at me. Like I totally forgot about it. Like, oh, here I am. I've arrived. And then I'll start writing on it and be like, this is trash. Like, I can't even do this. Like, what was I thinking about?
She just said it, Patricia. That's the problem. If it's something that she hasn't written in years, she goes back and she's like, oh, this is good. But if she starts to add to it, that's where our problem is. Yeah. She's going to be like, oh, none of this is good. And she's going to send it to me, then she's going to be like, but I don't like it. I'm like, Erica, it's good. But don't you think Erica is good? No, but we need to do. I said, Erica is good.
Yeah.
Like,
but I think we all need that person. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's my person because if you remember, Unique, I didn't like bow and arrow. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. She made me publish that. Yeah, she made me publish it.
This is a good book, and she's like, but it doesn't. I said, Erica, this is a good book. This is awesome. And then what happened? When she published it, people just started getting this book, and she's like, oh, my God, look at the reviews. I'm saying, yeah, I told you. This is a good book.
Yeah. I do that every time.
And there you are.
But I'm so upset with her because I'm still waiting on part 2.
I'm moving as fast as I possibly can. We're in a pandemic.
Well,
that's my excuse right now. No, I am.
It's just hard to write with all the chaos. It really is.
Yeah, I think with me, I think it's how I've been working. So I'm a person that writes at night. That's where it just comes. But I have to go to work. Because 5 o'clock in the morning comes real fast. So that's what kills me. I did my best writing. I used to work at Enterprise. And if I ever get famous, I'm really going to tell this story. When I worked at Enterprise, I worked from 10 to 6 in the morning. And I was able to write. I would sit in my little booth, and I wrote 2 books because I was up in the middle of the night just writing. But it's just like this time it's like 7:45. And I'm like, okay, if I write tonight, if I start writing, I'm not probably going to be done until about 3. And I have to go to work. Yeah. So that's what, you know how it takes over. It just, you're walking through a whole nother world, and it's exciting because you don't really, you know what's going to happen, but you really don't know what's going to happen. So it's a very exciting feeling. So it's just, I have to pace myself. I have to remember I have to pace myself.
I know. Yeah. Well, on that note, I will let you go because I know you have to go create some brilliance this evening before, otherwise Unique's going to come whip my butt.
And mine too. Come on.
Yes, and yours. So no more distractions this evening. Thank you so much, ladies, for being on today.
Thank you so
much
for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So if you've been listening, this is Patricia W. Fisher with Readers Entertainment Radio, and I've been talking to author Erica Hale. She is the author of the Tomahawk series and the new Bow and Arrow series. You can find all of that on Amazon. You can also find her on Facebook and Instagram, and all of those links are in the write-up of the show. Please come back when you have new projects out. I want to talk to you some more.
Sure will. Definitely. Thank you.
Absolutely. And this has been Patricia W. Fisher. Everybody stay safe and keep on reading. Thank you so much.
This show brought to you by Circle of 7 Productions, www.cosproductions.com. Please be sure to subscribe and welcome to our circle.
The Hollywood Reporter is your ultimate source for awards race news this fall. Go to THR.com to keep up with this award season's expert predictions from executive editor Scott Feinberg, and tune into the Hollywood Reporter's Awards Chatter podcast for exclusive interviews with the biggest names in showbiz. Stay in the loop with daily newsletters providing real-time updates on all the awards action. Subscribe to THR.com for full access to the Hollywood Reporter and never miss a moment of this fall awards season. Visit THR.com today.
I'm Victoria Cash. Thanks for calling the Lucky Land Hotline. If you feel like you do the same thing every day, press 1. If you're ready to have some serious fun for the chance to redeem some serious prizes, press 2. We heard you loud and clear. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com right now and play over 100 social casino-style games for free. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.